All right, here we go. Panther Live back for our third season as the Belgrade Panthers here in football taking on the Sidney Eagles. Joining me on the broadcast tonight is Andy Demjanovic. Andy, we're back at it again, man. Summer off, we're back.
Good to see you, partner.
Hey, so let's get right into the pregame. First, let's mention that this pregame show is brought to you by Ty Elliott State Farm Insurance. But let's go ahead and get right into the pregame show. Andy, you met up with both coaches, is that right?
Yeah. Both Coach Merritt of Sidney and Coach Kinnaman of Belgrade, yes.
Okay, go ahead and lead us in. Let's hear what these coaches had to say.
Yeah, well, first we'll move into interview with Coach Roger Merritt, head coach of Sidney Eagles.
Play tonight.
So how the kids prepare for that when you don't, first game of the season, a lot can change maybe in the off season for teams. Do you just worry about doing your stuff, or how do you guys prepare?
Well, it's just same as everybody. Just try to condition, and get used to contact, and just try to get to the point where you can out-hit and out-hustle your opponent. And if we can do that, we'll feel like we're going to be, fortunate to come out on the top side.
You guys healthy tonight? Everybody a full goal?
Well, we got a few guys that won't suit tonight, that had some issues in summer and, some preseason stuff, but, for the most part, we're healthy.
And what are your feelings towards Belgrade tonight? Are you comfortable with the game? I know you guys beat them last year, and like we said, a lot can change in the year, but what's your mindset for Belgrade?
Well, Belgrade has a lot of speed. They just really get to the corner. They try to present one-on-one issues out on the perimeter, with Page and with Major, and it's going to be exciting. We just got to play fast on defense and contain those guys and be able to control the line of scrimmage, and we'll see where it happens.
Okay. Thanks for your time, Coach. Appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you.
All right, there, the national anthem, and as you heard, head coach there from Sidney. Sorry, I missed the first half of that interview. But, Andy, now should we get right back into what Coach Kinnaman had to say? I'll turn it back over to you.
All right, we're here on the Ty Elliott State Farm pregame show with head coach Eric Kinnaman. Coach, can you want to, coming into tonight's game, first off, you came on a 2-7 campaign last year. So coming into 2 days and off season, what's the demeanor of the kids, and what have you guys learned from last year?
We had a great off season. We had one of the best spring balls that we've ever had with the numbers, the young freshmen coming in, the sophomores, freshmen last year, and then great leadership from our upcoming seniors as well. So, coming into this year, this campaign, you got to look at it. 2-7 last year. We had multiple opportunities to win more games than 2. So I think that comes with the experience, and we had a young team last year. We turned a lot of starters. So I think the demeanor is going to be there with us, and we look to come out and start hot against Sidney.
it seemed like in practices and even in the scrimmage, you guys kind of have balance before you got your true depth charts, looking to develop kids and maybe get more competition. Has that worked out for you so far?
You know, it's going good. You know, we've developed a white and a green team to be able to balance the talent and get good looks during practice and not just overload one team. So the kids compete against each other, and you know, when it comes game week or this last week, you know, we definitely hit hard with our ones, just so they could get a little continuity within each other, and especially across the line. So you know, it's been working well for us, but at some point we do have to drain that out a little bit and get continuity within the entire team.
So tonight you face the Sidney Eagles. They are the #1 team out of the East last year. They went to the semis and eventually lost to the state champ Columbia Falls. And they returned a lot of guys back this year. What's your thought process towards them tonight?
You know, they're a very well coached team, and they're a bend don't break team. You know, they don't do anything fancy. They're going to run the ball at us. We know that. They're going to stay in their standard 4-3-4-4 defense, and hopefully that works for them. That's what they want to do. That's who they are. Coming in from last year, you know, they do have a lot of returners. They lost some key players. They lost their running back last year, you know, and he was a great, actually I think they lost both linebackers, but they were great players for them, and they were leaders on that defense. So hopefully we can find a soft spot within that defense.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
All right, so back here now live as starting lineups are being announced. But Andy, go ahead and break down. What do you know about this matchup here today?
Well, the first game of the season is always a tough one because a lot can happen in the off season. Sometimes teams change things, but for the most part, teams run their same stuff the years before. They keep with their identity. I think Sidney's going to do that tonight, and I think they're going to continue to do what they've always tried to do over the past 20, 30 years, and that's establish a good run game. And like their coach, Coach Merritt talked about in the pregame show about you know, the biggest thing you got to establish, especially for game one, is who's going to hit the hardest and who's going to get after it right out of the gate. And he conditions his kids to do that, and that's their identity with their run game. And we'll see what happens tonight. He did say they might have a couple players out, and we'll see if that affects them tonight at all or not. But we know Sidney's big up front. They're a physical team, and they returned most of their guys last year from up front. So we'll see what Belgrade's front can do against their front. On the flip side with Belgrade, I think they have some nice skill players. You have the speed of Easton Page, and like Coach Merritt even talked about Belgrade from Sidney's standpoint, even Ethan Major in the backfield. So I think you'll see Easton Page at the #1 receiver spot to try to stretch the field and try to get some balls to him in open space, and then use Ethan out of the backfield as well. So, but the key for Belgrade is we're going to see if they can handle Sidney's front on the offense and defensive side to see if they can be able to use some of our skilled players. So I think it's going to be a test tonight who can win the battle in the trenches tonight and keep that momentum.
All right, so as both teams now are being announced, we want to mention some of our sponsors who make this broadcast possible. Harrington Pepsi, new sponsor with us this year, provided a bunch of drinks for the guys in the offseason. Reach Higher Montana, looking for scholarship money, visit with Catherine in our office. Also Ty Elliott State Farm, as we mentioned. Don't think about retirement, plan for it. Also Town and Country Foods. And once again, Taco Time, now proudly supporting Belgrade High School for the past 34 years. And finally, Yellowstone Vacations for snowmobile and snow coach trips into Yellowstone National Park. Visit YellowstoneVacations.com.
Yeah,
I got to slow that down.
I had breakfast with Bill the other day at Taco Time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
I do the Big Country breakfast burrito.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there.
It's legit. And I also used Yellowstone Vacations.
Did you really?
Yeah.
So you're
well, I haven't personally.
6.
I got a little something for Mom and Dad there.
Okay.
So, looks pretty nice.
Speaking of Mom and Dad, we would like to get Rich's Flooring a part of the Panther Live lineup this fall. So we'll work on that one. But we're just about ready for football right now. It looks like the Eagles are going to receive. So Belgrade right now huddled their kickoff team around special teams coordinator Toby Robinson.
So here we go. Football begins across the country tonight. It's always, a good time when football starts. It's a good thing to help transition into school and transition into the fall. We're not quite ready for winter yet, though. That was a long winter last year. I don't want to see snow for some time.
Come on, man. It's not even the first day of school yet. Well, here we are already.
I'm just telling you. I don't want to see snow.
All right, so John Mears is going to tee it up here for the Panthers. Back deep, we've got Christian Dean as well as number 5, Jace Winter. They are both standing in between, it looks like around the 6 and about the 9. So John Mears will be kicking off with the wind at his back here.
Feel free. My son left half his pizza up here, so if it looks tasty
like
to either of you two,
right
go
now.
ahead and jump right in there.
So right now, referee just kind of holding things like, hang on, we're at a Panther Live television timeout right now. No, we're back. So Mears is getting this ball teed up and ready to go. Again, he's got the wind at his back. And with where these returners are, I'd like to see Mears pop this one out over their heads.
Yeah, he's definitely a good kicker. He was kind of the spotlight in the scrimmage. We couldn't quite punch it in on either side of the green-white scrimmage, and John Mears made all the points in a 6-3 scoring in our Spirit Night scrimmage. John Mears is the one that propelled him to a playoff victory a couple years ago as a freshman, hit the game winner 35-yarder. And here John Mears kicks it off, deep left down to the 5-yard line.
This will be Dean who brings it up, little room up the middle, slowed down and dropped right at about the 25-yard line, so that's where Sidney will start.
A little speed with Dean there, a little shake and bake, got up in there. But Belgrade does a good job of spreading the net in the beginning and then what we call closing the net, staying in their lanes and not giving up a gap to let him squeeze out of there. So good job by the Panther special teams. As a special teams coach, you're always really nervous, you know, one break and a guy could be gone. So good job by Belgrade.
So it looks like McLaughlin will be taking the snaps here for Sidney. He's got 2 running backs with him in the backfield, 1 receiver at each side. Takes the snap, gives up the middle. Not much as he is dropped right around the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1.
So we talked about Sidney's run game. That's what they do right out of the gate. Just run a little off-tackle play there. That was good stop by Brennan Clarkson, number 54, and also is that Zane Conkle, I believe.
Costa Leckie was the ball carrier who picked up 1. We'll call it 2 now, 2nd and 8.
So 71, is that Conkle? I can't see.
71.
Yes, so it was 71. Gets pressure again. He rolls out. Nowhere for him to go. So 2 good plays by the Belgrade defense will put Sidney into 2nd and long here. Should be about 2nd and 7. 2nd and 8.
No, it's 3rd down now.
Oh, 3rd now.
Yeah, 3rd down. You missed that play.
2 good stops, yeah.
So 3rd down here, 2 receivers to the right side.
He's got an open-close set here. Split backs and shotgun. Belgrade looks like they're going to press, go cover 0 here. We'll see what Sidney does.
QB keepers up the middle. It's going to be dropped well short of the line, so Panther defense goes 3 and out to start it out.
Yeah, they look good right out of the gate, so tries to cut back with their quarterback there. So good job by Belgrade's D-line there. I thought you got to set the tempo up front right away, especially against a running team, and Belgrade does that up front. So great job by the front 4 there.
Easton Page is the returner. Snap on the way. Punt. Looks like it's going to hit the turf once. Page
got to get it. He does scoop it up. Uses his speed, heads to the sideline. All Sidney guys. And they eventually force him out near the 50-yard line, so you can see his speed there.
So now Belgrade's going to start out with good field position. And who are we going to see here at quarterback just at about the 50-yard line?
I believe you'll see Dyson Cheney, the junior, will start. And Belgrade kind of running a new offense. Not new, but have cleaned some things up. So we'll see what Belgrade does. Here out of the lace and race set, we got doubles to each side.
So Cheney takes the snap, gives up the middle. This is Major. He's got some room, and he picks up about 6 or 7 yards.
Yeah, a little inside zone there, so great job. Good read on his zone steps.
So right away now, 2nd and short.
And with Easton Page's return, we flip the field position, so it gives Belgrade a nice advantage here, whether they score or not.
Cheney again gives to Major. Major this time fights forward. He's close to first down yardage. I think he's going to be stopped about 1 yard short, so we'll have 3rd and 1.
Looks like he got up in there, but the ref is going to mark him short. I thought he bounced ahead, but we're going to move him back a little bit. 3rd down. Two good runs. I don't know if we'll see much change here. We go to single back to lace race set. Could be a quick bubble screen throw to top right. No, inside handoff, inside zone. Sidney gets penetration and drops Ethan Major for a loss. So we stick with the zone.
4th and 4. Kinnaman's going to send out the punt unit. Opportunity really to pin him deep here, but when you got 3rd and 1, and you're thinking this is 4-down territory, that's a tough spot to lose 3 yards.
Yeah, you know, they ran the ball so well, so why not go to another run with your best back, one of the better backs, especially in the league with Ethan Major. And Coach Kinnaman, without a doubt, is going to punt this. He's big on field position, and at least they come away with the victory of flipping the field position.
So Bagby punts, fair catch called, but it's going to bounce inside the 5.
Nice
get there
punt.
to stop it. 65 is going to be there to down it for the Panthers. That is Blade Vega. But the punt there from Bagby, boy, where were we at? About on the 46-yard line. Right now, Bagby averaging 45 yards a punt, everything inside the 5. It's a pretty good way to go.
Yeah, a great job, and that's why I think Kinnaman went to the punt there, as you can see. Flipped the field position extremely well there. Sidney's going to start with a big deficit here, pretty close to their goal line here on about the 3-yard line. So Sidney comes out in open close set.
Give is up the middle and dropped right there. Push back.
Almost a safety. They give him forward progress. It's pretty tough out of that split backs to get any momentum. I wonder if Sidney might go to a little bit more traditional eye, but we'll see.
So breaking the huddle out of the shadow of their own end zone. Now under center is McLaughlin. 2 running backs behind him. He'll take the snap, give us to the fullback, and he is dropped down by a couple of Panthers. Rolling over there at the end was Vega.
Nice job again by Belgrade's front. He has to try to bounce that out. They close the holes and gaps.
3rd and 10. Still first quarter here, no score.
Tommy Whipple there, the safety, runs up in his alley. And Nate Jenkins, as the DN, keeps nice contain on that last play. So they go to traditional eye set. We'll see what happens. A sweep. Oh, looked like it might have been there, but that's a great play.
That was
by
Riley
Belgrade.
Berman. Yeah, Riley Berman stepped up and made a great tackle on
Yeah,
the
it looked
sweep.
like Sidney had some green there. They might come back to that play, but that's what defense is about, some fellows, is sometimes your guy gets that one-on-one in situations like that, and you have to make a play, and that's what makes great defenses, and Riley Berman shows his athleticism there, and he makes the big-time stop right there.
So now punting out of the end zone and getting quite a bit of hang time on it. Page is going to let it bounce, and it will take a bounce for the Eagles and then be downed at the 33. Now, talk about that field position game. After a couple possessions of back and forth, and look where no first downs yet, and look where the Panthers have already progressed to just on field position from punting.
Yeah, so and if you can play that game, be solid on defense, if you know, and granted we've only had 1 possession offensively, but just sound on defense like that, and like we said, Easton had a decent return, and we flip field position. Now Belgrade sets up nicely for offensive coordinator Josh Lewis to do some different things.
Cheney takes the snap, throws up top. He's got Page. Page makes a move toward the sideline. He's got a little bit of speed here. He's going to step out. It's going to be right at the first down marker.
So there's that bubble screen. So we're going to see a lot of the run game. We're probably going to see a lot of short passes, backs out of the backfield. and bubble screens, hitches, and just plays in the window against their zone. We'll see if we'll see if Dyson will ever be tested on having to throw downfield a little bit, but he's pretty comfortable in the short game, as you saw there, working on getting that bubble screen out quick, and he did there. Good feet and hands and throw by Dyson.
Cheney now takes the snap. He's going to throw again. Once again, it's Page. This time the other side. Page picks up a block, takes a couple tacklers down to the 10-yard line, where it will be 1st and goal. Belgrade here in this first quarter, no score.
Yeah, and they're going to keep going to him when they can. Get Easton Page some touches as well. We said between him and Ethan Major, they're playmakers, and when you can get guys like that in space and get them opportunities to use their athleticism just like that, it's tough to make plays. So we got trips up top. We'll see if we do any more bubble. We might see a maybe zone play here to the weak side. We'll see. So we got zone weak inside, and Ethan Major tripped up on the first down play.
So 2nd and goal now. Breezy night here in Belgrade. You see those trees there in the background moving pretty good. If anything, Belgrade's got the wind at their back, so I want to take advantage of this first quarter as the Panthers right now are knocking on the door. And it's actually not 2nd and goal. I think they called Page down just outside the 10, so they could get a first down inside the 1.
So same formation, Nate. We got trips up top. And we'll see if we have Ethan maybe coming out of the backfield here. Or he might have some crossing routes. No, same play.
Here's Major. He drops the ball. Scooped up, though, by the Panthers' number 7, Tommy
Whipple.
Boy, that was a disaster laying on the ground, and Whipple covered it up.
Puts the ball on the turf, but great heads up by Tommy Whipple to get that ball back for Belgrade. But 3rd and long here. Basically 3rd and long, 3rd and goal. They have them at 3rd and goal?
Yeah, no, it's 3rd, and they can get a first down. They can get that first down inside the 1.
Just inside the 1, but
it's essentially, though, 3rd and goal. And you also got to remember here with John Mears' ability to put it through the uprights of.
Well, that wind's starting to swirl now a little bit, not necessarily with us.
Cheney rolls right, throws near that
nice
first down
play.
Marker.
Just short, is caught on the rollout, and I think we'll see a lot of that. We'll see a lot of inside-outside zone plays, bubble screens, short passes, and I think we'll also see Dyson roll out. You know, he's a little bit shorter quarterback, so he's not going to be able to see as well all the time in the short passing game. So I think Coach Lewis will tend to roll him out when he can.
So again, Bagby had that reception. Bring it now to 4th down and 2 to go from the 3-yard line. And Coach Kinnaman is going to roll the dice early and go for it.
Maybe try to draw him off sides here, but why not go? You still have field position.
And now he's going to run in here and call a timeout. Maybe he wanted to see what they're going to line up on defense.
Yeah, if they're going to stay with it, that's what he usually does. Just get Sidney lined up in the formation they want. And he's talking to Coach Lewis now to see what they think. And so now Coach Lewis is basically going to play Madden football here, and he's going to instruct exactly what he wants them to see and where he wants them to go. So it takes the guessing game out for his kids out of that defense, and we'll see if they can't come away with a touchdown here.
So here on this timeout, we'll go ahead and remind you that Panther Live is brought to you by Harrington Pepsi. Thank you, Harrington Pepsi, for your support of Belgrade High School and Belgrade students. And it looks like now John Mears will come onto the field for this 4th down. It will be about a 20-yarder from the right hash. So a sharp angle, we'll call it actually about it's all the way inside the, we'll call this an 18-yard placement. Right hash, swirling winds for John Mears.
Well, Coach Kinnaman looks like he wants to come away with points, and he gets it, legs it through.
Yeah,
easily for John Mears. So the Panthers go up 3-0. And that's always been Coach K's mentality, is get some points on the board, and I think a lot of people maybe wanted him to go for it, but it's always good to go and get some points, but at the same time, Sidney probably feels that they have a little bit of a victory because backed up on their own 1 yard line, and they only gave up 3 points with, not great field position. So Belgrade can't quite come away with a touchdown. And I think we'll see what happens as the season goes on, and especially particularly tonight as the game goes on. We'll see if Belgrade can finish drives. I know the coaches talked about that, and the scrimmage was on both sides. They couldn't quite finish their drives and punch it in for a touchdown, and they came away with field goals even in the scrimmage. And I know it's a scrimmage, but that's going to be a key factor, I think, when you get inside the 5 and stuff. You got to come away with touchdowns, and but nonetheless, they look pretty solid offensively, getting into the flow of things a little bit and come away with 3 points. So with 4:18 to go here in the first quarter, John Mears will kick it off again. Having some trouble teeing that ball up. Looks like he's going to have a teammate hold.
Yeah, we got the wind swirling in here to the press box now.
I was always nervous being a guy who held the ball because you're just not sure.
He's going to kick my
as
finger.
coaches, after practice, we always used to kick, and my good buddy Corey Johnson, who actually played for the Eagles, is from Sidney, he'd always kick toe punch field goals, and I put one on my toe so it was propped up, right, so it's not off the turf.
Yeah.
And he punched it, and one day he missed, and I think he broke my big toe. And he promised me he wouldn't hit me, but he did.
Well, Mears puts that one out of the back of the end zone, so good field positioning again, as we mentioned before. It's been the exclamation point for the Panthers here in this first quarter as they lead 3-0. As now Sidney will start from their own 20-yard line.
So Belgrade in their traditional 42, while they're playing basically cover 3, so it becomes a 4-4 defense. So Sidney with split backs again. Now they're going to run the option, speed option. They get to the edge. It's a little better for Sidney now. They thought, they kind of had some trouble kind of running between the tackles inside there, and they tried to attack the edge. Thought on that sweep, even though Riley Berman made a play, there was some good openings on that sweep, and they come back to speed option and pick up about 5 yards there, Nate.
Yeah, that was Kostalecki on the carry for Sidney. Brings up this 2nd and 5.
So still open, close, set. Split backs. We'll see if they run some more speed option up top.
And McLaughlin.
Inside handoff. Cuts back. Not much there. Good tackle there for Belgrade. Sorry, a little jumpy here.
Excited for football season.
I am.
3rd down here, 1 to go. McLaughlin under center.
That was a great play, Nate, by Nate Jenkins. Nate?
He takes the snap, goes right up the middle. I think he's going to have the first down on the QB keeper.
It's going to be really tight. Referee from up top, Nate Singles, first down. So the chains are moved. So Sidney gets their first down of the night to move the chains.
Three minutes to go here, first quarter. Cooper McLaughlin, quarterback for the Eagles, in shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to his right side. He's going to roll out, looking to pass. He's rushed.
Oh!
And he drops. Boy, credit number 81 for the Panthers. That is Riley Berman. Credit him with the sack, I suppose. No, he
came off the edge there. Nice play by Riley Berman. And again, Riley's a very athletic kid. And he can be a playmaker for us as well. I know Easton didn't get that many touches in the scrimmage because we kind of shut him down by double teaming in the scrimmage, and Riley really shined. So he could be another potential big playmaker for us.
Give up the middle on 2nd and long. A little bit of room here for number 12. That's Jet Jones. Just shy of the original line of scrimmage, where it will now be 3rd and long.
And I think the quarterback on that last one, I know Riley was coming hot, but he's got to try to throw that away. That's take a 10, 12-yard loss. but nonetheless they do, and they gain about 8 of it back, so still 3rd and long.
3rd and long, McLaughlin under center. I formation, takes the snap, fakes the give, looking to throw, pressured and dropped. Big sack there by the Panthers, number 54. That's Brendan Clarkson.
That's a big play. Belgrade goes cover 0 there and decides to bring the pressure, and they're successful. They got up in there quick, and Sidney couldn't handle the pressure. And with this win, Nate, this could be an ugly punt here.
This could be, I would tell Page, and it looks like Coach Kinman is moving Page up. He's standing on about the Sidney 44-yard line, 43-yard line, call it, awaiting this punt. Snap is away, punt is in there. It's a low one, chopping along the ground near the Sidney sideline. Page is going to let it roll across midfield, and it's going to be downed.
That's a great punt.
Hey, that's as good as you can get there.
Yeah, he kind of rugby styled it a little bit, keep it low as possible. Kind of like my golf shot, just top that sucker, right, Mr. Hessen, and watch that thing worm burner down the fairway. And that's what he does, and he gets Sidney back into decent position.
So Panthers will come out once again with good field positioning from their own 43-yard line. Cheney, 3 receivers to his left. Takes the snap, pitches to Major. Major looking for the sideline. He's got plenty of defenders, though. They'll trip him up and drop him for a loss of 5 on the play. So now Tommy Whipple will run the play in from the sideline. Second down, 15 here for Belgrade. Cheney now, 3 split up to his right. Takes the snap, give is to Major. Major tries to bounce it toward his own sideline, and he's met near the original line of scrimmage.
I've got to look at that replay again, Nate. Seems like Ethan might be cutting it back a little too early. Sometimes he's going to have to get up in that inside zone and mix it up a little bit. And sometimes you got to get a hard 3 yards, if you know what I'm saying. And the gap was there. It just, I think he's bouncing it too much too early. But we'll see what happens. I know Coach Lewis will be talking to him about that, but we'll keep an eye on that.
So with that, the end of the first quarter. Let's go ahead and remind you all of these great sponsors that make this broadcast possible. Once again, Harrington Pepsi, proudly supporting Belgrade High School. Reach Higher Montana. Make sure you come down if your parents that are listening to this game, or if there's any kids listening, make sure you come down to the counseling office. Schedule an appointment with Catherine Foster. Learn about how you can pay for college. Of course, also State Farm Insurance. Don't think about retirement. Plan for it. Call Ty Elliott at State Farm Insurance in Belgrade at 388-3178. And of course, Town and Country Foods supports the Belgrade Panthers with stores in Belgrade and Bozeman, serving Southwest Montana. Taco Time. Thank you for your support of Belgrade High School for the past 34 years. And finally, Andy's favorite, or second favorite after Taco Time, is Yellowstone Vacations. For snowmobile and snow coach trips into Yellowstone National Park, visit YellowstoneVacations.com. So deep here to pass. Cheney looking for a receiver, throws. And there was a man there, but it was just behind him. I think that was Gabe Turnquist-Lynn who had the last chance at it.
Yeah, that was. So, and that's what we talked about, where teams might start to pressure Belgrade a little bit as we go to see if Dyson can get that ball downfield. And he's going to have to do some 5-step drops so that he can clear back far enough to see over the line a little bit and see the vision, because he's a little bit shorter like we talked about. And I think Gabe was open initially. He just couldn't see him right away. So it was a little bit late.
So 4th down, Panthers will have to punt. Bagby's punt is on the way. Now he's punting into the wind. That's a knuckleball that drops and goes out of bounds at about the Sidney 34-yard line, so that's where they'll start. So 1st and 10 here, Sidney from their own 34-yard line. Andy, I got to get the ads. I got to get our advertisement reads dialed in. I'm a little rusty from last year. Yeah, the summer really hurt.
You're still in summer mode?
I think so. Pass is complete. Tackled there by Major.
So a little counter boot action with Sidney off the rollout, off the boot play. Gets the running back out into the curl out of the flats there, and they come up with about 8 yards on the play.
And that was Riley Waters on the completion. 2nd and 3. Now on the close hash here to our side. McLaughlin gives up the middle. Dropped after a gain of 1 or 2.
Yeah, Belgrade's done an outstanding job up front on inside runs. Sidney hasn't been able to really run inside the tackle guard area. Very, very minimal. They've gotten all their yardage on outside runs or off their play action there.
3rd down and 1 now. McLaughlin under center, fullback, and then
there comes Belgrade off the blitz. Here they
him.
come. Sidney handles it a little bit, still getting pressure on the quarterback. Throws over the top. Picked off by Tommy Whipple. Good read. Quarterback trying to throw a little bit across his body, but Tommy Whipple, the free safety, reads the quarterback's eyes, leads him to what he thought an open wide receiver for Sidney, and he comes underneath and makes that play for the interception. So big play by Belgrade's defense.
Isn't that what you say, throwing it across the middle late is usually going to be a disaster because he thought he was there, but Whipple read the play great, comes back, makes the interception, a little underthrown ball.
Well, it's tough with this wind. Once you start rolling out, and that happens at all levels, that guy looks so open, but he's really not. Speed option to our sideline here.
Majors dropped right around midfield. It is a pickup of about 4 yards. They'll mark it at the Panther 49.
Yeah, and we'll see if Belgrade can kind of make a run this year. It's their last year in Class A football. They'll be on to a AA schedule for next year.
Right, that's right. Yeah, Belgrade moving up to AA next year. This is the final season in Class A sports for all sports here. Cheney takes the snap. Give is to Major. Major met in the backfield. He wiggles back up to about midfield.
So Sidney kind of throws a blitz of their own to see if Belgrade's front can handle them a little bit, and seeps through there and almost had Major for a loss, but he actually made something out of nothing at all, had a loss there, and he kind of squirt through to get back more towards the line of scrimmage. So
3rd down 5. Cheney and pistol with Major behind him. 3 receivers to his left, 1 down to his right. Cheney will throw. Tipped at the line, dropped. Luckily it wasn't intercepted there.
So he's looking for Easton Page off the slant against the Sidney zone, coming back toward the middle of the field. And I think Coach Lewis is thinking, got to lead him just a little bit more. His angle might have been a little bit off there, but nonetheless, it's tipped. So Belgrade will have to punt again and try to gain field position again, which they should, but with this wind, we never know.
So Bagby will punt. Back deep is Christian Dean. He'll roll to his right. Little rugby punt's going to roll inside the 20.
So, yeah, much better there for Bagby. He does kind of half roll out, rugby styles it and keeps it low. Great field position now defensively for the Panthers. Puts Sidney back to about their 15-yard line or so.
Yeah, and that's really the thing we've been repeating all night is the field position game.
And it's worked in Belgrade's favor. They got the 3 points on the board, and you know, if you can keep flipping field position, you're still going to give your offense a chance to put up some points.
First down and 10. Sorry, we had our scoreboard wrong there. That was just a technicality. That wasn't anyone's fault. That was a camera, or we'll call it a glitch in the system.
So Sidney goes on a hard count, gets Zane Conkle there, number 71, to jump. So Sidney will get an extra 5. Referees converting, though. Easton Page pointing at the top part at the Sidney Eagles. There might have been movement up top, but on the bottom, looks like Zane. Yep. So they still get Belgrade for the offsides call there, Nate, and they'll add Sidney 5 yards. And that's kind of big when you flip field position, and now you get a free 5 yards on that first down. And it opens up some things for you.
First down and 5. Cooper McLaughlin in shotgun. Takes the snap. He's rolling to his right option. He'll keep it himself. Taken down there.
And that's okay. That's not a bad read off the speed option there. Could maybe have pitched it, but the more you do that as a quarterback, get up and get those hard runs while the defense make that defensive end in bad positions, you just got a couple yards there. You keep doing that, and then you make them pay one time off the pitch. So sometimes you just got to get 2-3 yards in a cloud of dust to set some other things up.
That was Riley Berman there on the stop for Belgrade.
Yeah, Berman having a great game defensively tonight.
He sure is. That's the third time we've said his name. Option to his side again. He'll force the pitch.
Yep, there's that speed option that we talked about. So great job by setting that up. And that's number 30 for Sidney.
Kostalecki there, who bursts free for the first down. Sidney with first and 10
That's tough because Belgrade's in a traditional 40 front, which means out of their forefront, their defensive end has contains. So they don't really have a loop philosophy with the D end and outside backer, so the D end has to keep contained there, and that puts a lot of pressure out of the speed option look.
Next year, we're going to try to get a telestrator here on Panther Live to explain that better. But we have upgraded our equipment. As you see, we got the 2-camera view tonight. Click over there to camera 2. The close-up, we'll have fun with this and do a couple different things, put it on the field. Once I know what I'm doing setting this thing up, luckily we got this broadcast out for you here today as we are approaching halftime, 7:45 to go until the break.
So you got Ethan Zawicki down there helping on camera 2?
Well, we got Baron Vandenbroek over here on camera 2.
Oh.
But we got to get Ethan Zawicki up here in the box calling this thing. I'll bug him and get him up here eventually as Panthers here make the stop on second down. It will be 3rd and 1 right near midfield. Clarkson on the tackle for the Panthers. Heard his name a few times tonight as well. It's a big play, though, for the Belgrade defense. 3rd and short.
3rd and short, and then we're on field position flip off that big speed option run now. Sidney out of the traditional eye, runs ISO right up the middle with Kostalecki, and Belgrade holds. And stuffs on that 3rd and 1. Sidney pointing for a first down, but there was no way. His forward momentum stopped at the line of scrimmage, 4th down. So we'll see what Coach Merritt wants to do. If he wants to flip field position, looks like he's got a couple subs coming in. We'll see. If it's just personnel, it looks like he might be punting here.
You know, I want to stay in a punt safe here for Belgrade. No, they're going to go for it, though. Coach Kinnaman might want to think about using a timeout. He's going to hang on. Sidney in tight. McLaughlin under center.
Might be a quick... Oh, he is under center. It's a long way for a quarterback sneak.
He's going to give it to his fullback. Whistles before the play.
Offside on Belgrade. Woo. That's a big penalty there. That is huge. The referee up top signals offside.
So that's going to be first down for Sidney. Here we look at the replay. Sorry, you guys at home don't have this replay. We're able to see this in the box. I didn't even see it. He just lined up offsides. Nobody jumped. It was just where he lined up.
He was in the neutral zone there. Yeah, I was looking for a jump, and that's why Coach Kinnaman had his arms up saying what, but the guy was across the neutral zone is what the referee's saying. So 1st and 10 for Sidney.
Give up the middle to the fullback, number 12. That's Jet Jones. Picks up a couple of yards.
So now Sidney just grinding here a little bit on Belgrade, kind of mixing inside, outside up with a little bit of boot, and they've got some momentum, and so we'll see if Belgrade's, again, if their defensive front can sustain this a little bit. And what happens on times like that is now you're in what you call a little bit of transition defense, because you thought you had to stop, and now you make a mistake, and so sometimes it gets in your head, so you're on your heels a little bit. We call that transition defense, and if you can be a good team that in transition defense that bounces back, you're going to be a solid ball club, because it's at all levels. You see at NFL, college, when mistakes happen, sometimes the team who made the mistake gets on their heels, and the other team gets some momentum and ends up scoring or making a play. So we'll see if Belgrade can buckle down and root in here and get a stop.
Yeah, Voyacek had that carry for the Eagles, just picked up a yard or two, so it's 3rd down, 7 to go from the 43-yard line.
Belgrade look like they're going to bring some pressure here. 6-man pressure. Blitzes. Quarterback rolls out.
Drops it off to his running back. It's met there at the line of scrimmage, then dropped around the 39-yard line. It's going to bring up 4th down.
So again, Sidney has an opportunity here, or not an opportunity, decision to make. Do they go for it on 4th or short, or do they go ahead and go and punt and flip the field position and bury Belgrade a little bit further back?
Yeah, just 4.5 to go till halftime, so also keeping that into account. But if Sidney wants to get on the board, they're in this first half, they're going to think about going for it right here. Waters was shaken up a little bit on that play, as you saw.
Well, they got 3 timeouts, so I think this is a time where you could actually potentially punt it, pin them deep, knowing that Belgrade really hasn't been able to get the ball downfield in with the deep pass. Sidney calls a timeout now, so because you got 4 minutes left, and with timeouts you can have that ability, but they're not a big strike offense either, so we'll see what Coach Merritt wants to do.
So now 4th down and 4 with 4 minutes to go here until halftime. Belgrade with a 3-0 lead, and really where we're standing right now in comparison to where this game was last year at this time. I know this game was all the way out in Sidney. We didn't have coverage of it, but do you have any recollection, or what was it, 28-0 last year in this one?
Yeah, and Belgrade actually had their chances. That score wasn't in. We had a lot of good drives, but we couldn't punch the ball in for scores.
Right.
And Sidney just maintained and slowly scored, and then scored a little bit more, and then just, eventually pulled away where we couldn't manage it. But definitely night and day, and there's a lot of returners on this Sidney team. So Belgrade's done a nice job in the first half of controlling field position, controlling the ball. They came away with a little bit of points, and their defense is maintained.
So here it is, 4th down, tight formation, fullback and a running back behind as McLaughlin is under center, jumps on the offensive line.
Sidney jumps this time on their own hard count. Sidney jumps, false start. So now Sidney they'll have to punt the ball here.
Yeah, they got to punt it.
And we'll see what happens with Belgrade. And I'm sure Coach Merritt doesn't want to put the ball in Easton Page's hands, so look for this punt not to be directly there. It's could go towards the corner on our sideline. There's some space over there where Easton would have to maybe run and get the ball. But they're punting with the wind now, so we'll see what action they decide to take here on the punt.
Snap on the way, punt is up. It's a pretty good one, as Page is going to let this one roll, and it will just go into
it comes back, but it just barely hit the goal line. Wow.
That looked like, we saw your sandwich, the worm burner sandwich, the one before. That looked like an Andy Hessen lob wedge right there, didn't it?
I thought you were coming back to me. I thought it was my name's Andy, too. I had a little bit of hope there.
No, we're going to mention Andy Hessen, who's our technical director tonight, making this broadcast possible on Panther Live. Can't forget Dustin.
Yeah, there's much separation in our golf games. He's an All-American, and I am not.
Well, it's all for fun, so it's all good. But the Panthers now with the ball, their own 20-yard line, 3:52 to go here till halftime. Cheney take the snap, give us to Major right up the middle. met there by the defensive line of Sidney. I want to try to get a number on that stop. I think that was number 12, Jet Jones there.
Yeah, the linebacker it was.
Yeah, it was a linebacker, not D-line.
By the way, we really missed you at Big Sky Bravery this year. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we did, yeah. A golf. Got to mention that golf tournament that Andy Demjanovich puts together. Really, Andy Demjanovich organizes this tournament for us, and we had our ringer.
Well, for our team, I organized.
Yeah, we had our ringer, Andy Hessen. I don't know, he fell off the face of the earth like he does most of the summer. I'm not sure where he was. Probably fishing somewhere.
Tough to get a hold of that guy.
Timeout here taken. 3:07 to go till halftime, and facing a 2nd and long. I guess Eric Kinman wants to talk this thing over. So, Coach, you've been on the headset in these huddles. I mean, where do you think we're at right now? That we took the timeout. What was that there?
Well, you got 2nd down to go. I think Coach Lewis is the coordinator. He wants to talk to them individually because they might be seeing something, or he's seeing something that they're not quite connecting him with. And as you can see him pointing in the huddle, he's kind of directing them what to do here, because with 3 minutes to go, Belgrade will get the ball after halftime, as Sidney did elect to return, or Belgrade deferred, one of the two. And Coach Lewis is a coordinator that's still, he's going to be aggressive here even with 3 minutes to go. But what will be tested here is to see if Dyson Cheney, the quarterback here, the junior, can throw some ball a little bit further downfield to give them an opportunity maybe to kick a field goal. So we'll see. This play call for Coach Lewis will pretty much predict kind of his aggressiveness and his decision. Are they going to go for some points or just try to end the half and not turn the ball over and go in happy up 3-0?
So here we go, 2nd down and 9. Cheney takes the snap. He will throw. He's actually looking now to keep it himself. He scrambles around. He's dropped for a sack.
So it looked like they were going for a sucker play there off the bubble screen, and Sidney does not bite. They bail back that corner. So off that, they're just looking as the guy who's blocking the bubble. He's going to fake down to block and then release up the field, and Easton Page does that, and Sidney does not bite on that.
Yeah, and slow getting up here is Major. Now kind of hobbling off to the sideline. So we'll have to monitor that as right now athletic trainer Matt Hoskins is talking to Ethan Major, who's holding a right ankle, it looks like. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, he might have just got rolled up on there and on that play a little bit.
John Mears in the backfield, the all-state wrestler. Going to keep her here.
Dyson Cheney showing on the speed option. Great read there by Dyson Cheney. Great read off the speed option. Keeps it. 1st down, Nate. Great play. That's a huge play.
And really, if you're wondering, you look at Dyson Cheney, small stature guy. We saw a ball knocked down at the line, but he does have that lightning in a bottle quickness back there as well as he picks up that 1st down. And Coach Lewis, like you mentioned, we got this hurry-up offense. We're going to stay with it as he rolls right. Cheney looking for a receiver. He's going to keep it himself across the 40-yard line, the 45.
Great block by Riley Berman there to set Dyson Cheney to get the 1st down there. That's a huge block by Riley Berman. Coach Lewis going out of the empty set, but rolls him out like we talked about. We talked about you're probably going to roll him out to see if he can throw the ball downfield. It's tough for him to throw the ball downfield in the pocket per se. So might see a few rollouts here and there or quick hitches to get some yards here.
Cheney's going to keep it himself again. A little bit of room. He picks up about 5 yards there on 1st down.
Yep, 2 minutes to go. They just got to hustle the line and keep the momentum going. Belgrade's got 1 timeout left, I believe. Is that what we got on the scoreboard there?
2 timeouts left for the Panthers. Is that right? No, maybe it is 1. Yeah, I think it is 1.
They do have 1.
Yep. 1:35 to go.
Looks like Sidney might be taking a timeout here. Belgrade caught him in personnel change, so.
I'll stop the clock.
So right now, the Belgrade offensive line pretty fired up after a couple of nice plays there, really from the feet of Dyson Cheney. As you mentioned, picking up some nice blocks as well to get inside Eagle territory with 1:35 to go. With this wind and John Mears' leg, I'm going to say that Belgrade's going to want to get down to about the 10-yard line to feel real confident with a field goal with this win.
That's blowing. It's pretty
It's blowing
swirly
pretty
and gnarly
good.
up top there, isn't it?
It is, and really, I mean, if it's just a second or two left, give him a shot from something like a 35-yarder, but it's going to be tough to direct it through with the kind of swirling crosswind that is pretty steady.
Yeah, but by the way, I've seen you kick.
Yeah, what'd you think?
Pretty solid. I think you might kick this one out of the back of the into the street. I mean, you kicked in the big house against Michigan. This is a little bit easier setting here, and I know you could punch one through probably from about right here.
We'll see if they can get me a green jersey. As Cheney's going to throw over the middle.
There it is!
Man,
Nice play.
catch there.
That's a big play, and that's what we were trying to see if he could find those throws downfield. And coach puts him in the shotgun there, which helps his vision out. It's equivalent to almost a 5-step drop, so that helps, and he finds the receiver there.
Yeah, that was Gabe Turnquist-Lynn on the reception.
It's a big play by Gabe Lynn.
Cheney's going to throw again. He's going to roll out to his right. He's got room to take off. He will inside the 20 and runs out of bounds.
And Dan Chestnut goes down. The cameraman.
Down. He
did. Boy.
He's all right, though. He is okay.
Bounces right back. And that happens. I don't care who you are. That you're on the sideline like that happens all the time.
Well, Dan's all right, though. He popped right back up.
Oh, yeah. He's been doing this for years.
2nd down and 1. 15-yard line. Cheney's going to throw. And it's almost intercepted. That was a dangerous spot there. Cooper McLaughlin.
Yeah, the quarterback
saying he should have had it.
Defense there for, I think he would have the soft hands because that was a pick six.
Yeah,
he catches that. There is nobody there for to impede his progress, and Sidney could take the lead there, but he drops it and gives Belgrade another chance here, Nate. 3rd and 1, so Belgrade still can get a first down to stop the clock. They have 1 timeout left. Catching Sidney and personnel change to help them because they got that extra timeout.
So no running backs in the backfield. Cheney's got 5 wide. Takes the snap, keeps it himself. He's got a first down and more. Inside the 10, drugged down by number 58.
Close to a horse collar there.
Yeah, Wyman close to the horse collar.
I think because of his momentum going forward and the hand ended up be pushing forward, the referee didn't call it. But good call there out of empty. I always like to go press, the old Belichick press man coverage with some sort of zone blitz scheme out of empty. Get everybody up on the line because it's your 6 versus their 5 with the quarterback being the 6th man, and then they got to pressure a little bit. But Sidney sitting back and playing man free here.
So Cheney, under a minute to go, takes the snap. He's looking in the end zone. He's got no
wide open, and he couldn't quite get the ball there off the rollout.
He's still got a chance now. Right side, Cheney going towards the pylon.
And he's short.
1.
30 seconds to go. Someone's better take a timeout. Kinnaman's hopping. 27 seconds left, but as you can see on top of the screen, Nate, on your replay, wide open, great play, but Sidney just got to him too quick. It was wide open. He just couldn't see him.
Yeah, and really with the pressure, he wasn't able to
deliver it. But he makes a great play coming back to the other way, almost scores and hits his own man. I don't know if he ran into Riley Berman, was it? I thought he was going to jump like John Elway in the Super Bowl and do the old helicopter in, but he doesn't quite just put the shoulder down and get stuffed. But Belgrade's still in good shape, but they got to tell their kids here, 27 seconds left, no matter what happens, they do not have any timeouts.
Right.
So you've got to get to the line in the no huddle and either –
How about have a play called, and if it's run and you got to get the field goal unit out, you spike it to get the unit, or you run two plays. The second one's got to be a pass. If it's incomplete, then you kick it on 4th.
Well, they got to decide. Yeah, they got to be telling the kids this is our strategy because you got to know your sequences here with 27 seconds, and that's what it's about. Sequence. Like you said,
here's what
you got 2 plays or 1 play, or what are you going to do? Are you going to down it on the next one if you don't get it? What's your sequence in your decision-making process here?
I like 2 calls here. The first one is a QB keeper out of empty. The second one is get right back on the line and come back in this and throw it up on a fade route or a slant or something for Page. But Page is going to come in motion here, change it up here. This is going to catch him off guard as they bring it in tight now.
Oh, and they're going to jump off sides. And it looks like Belgrade got what they wanted, and that looks like Dyson saying that's on him. And so now the play call's got to change. So I think they got what they want numbers-wise. I think it was right. They shifted in. I think it was going to be a quarterback keeper. When you run out of the Wildcat set, stuff like that, you have the extra blocker, right? So it's a little bit more tough to stop. And we just couldn't take advantage of that.
So here we go. Now from the 6-yard line, it'll be 2nd and goal. Once again in empty. Whistles before the play again. I think this is a clock issue. Well, not our clock. I don't know. He was just pointing at the scoreboard. That's why I said that.
Well, the clock shouldn't be running.
So the referees will converge and talk about this one. I'm not sure. I think it was just kind of an inadvertent way. Wait. Oh, no, never mind. We're good.
The play clock should be going, but not the game clock.
Cheney takes the snap, looks to throw, rolls
there he is
to his
again.
left.
There's the rub route. Touch.
He's got him.
Touchdown Easton Page. So they come back to the same rub route, and I think Dyson knew that as he's rolling out that time, he's got to make sure that is pressure coming or not. So he held up a little sooner, which allowed him to settle and make that throw, and he almost didn't get it off. I was waiting for him to throw, but he ended up finding that rub play to Easton Page. They're one of their bigger playmakers, and Belgrade does seal the deal finally and gets into the end zone to potentially take a 10-0 lead going into half.
Yeah, John Mears will try to make it a 10-0 lead. The hold from Gabe Turnquist-Lynn. Snap kick is on the way, and it is good.
So he barrel rolls it through.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? That was a good. What kind of shot would you put? Spin on it like that, there, Hessen? Is that your driver with a little? Well, that wasn't quite a drive, but that was.
I can do that.
Hey,
that's a nice feel too.
Yeah, he put that one in though. So Mears gives the Panthers the 10-0 lead, and now what you're looking for. Mears is going to be kicking off into this wind. So obviously Panthers trying to hold. Could look for a squib kick. But looking to get out of the half here with this 10-0 lead. And probably a bit surprised for some of the even Panther faithful. This is a new team this year.
Yeah, I think they're trying to bounce. They're trying to bounce back from a 2-7 season, and they got a good group of core guys back. And they got some experience as far as what it felt like to go through a season like that, and they've responded nicely. Like Coach Kinnaman said in the pregame interview, they had a nice offseason. They had a ton of kids come to offseason stuff, and they changed some things offensively, and they got better at just being more solid, perhaps, in getting fluidity in their defensive calls and sets. Coach Hunter's defense, and when you have a group of guys and a bunch of guys come in for that stuff, you get ahead of the curve, especially going into game one, because you're learning together, you're being together, and you're building that chemistry way before the season.
So Mears again struggling to keep the ball on the tee. Again, we'll use the holder on the kickoff.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah, watch your fingers.
Got an old Legionnaire coming in from Vegas right now. Is that in the screenshot?
No, I don't know if they're catching that one.
Come on.
We are close to the. Actually, here, let me see if we'll get it in this.
Oh, it's going.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Where?
Yeah, we got it.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I usually keep the production stuff off the air, but I'm going to talk about production here. Halftime, I'm going to run camera 2 down onto the field. We're going to go field shot on camera 2.
Nice.
So we'll have to string our 250-foot cord under the bleachers, around the cheerleaders. You think I can get that done in the time it takes you to get to the concession stand and get a full plate of nachos and Mountain Dew and you load it up. Or
yeah,
did
for you,
Owen,
that's what you want.
Did your kid already spend all your money at the concession stand?
And I got cold quarter pizza, and he gets money and nice food.
Man,
how does that work?
That's having kids. 1st and 10 from the 40. Pitch here to the outside, a little bit of room, looking for blockers. This could be dangerous if Waters can get
clock
forward.
is going to stop. Sidney has one timeout left. If they get a hustle up to the line, they can get either another playoff or spike it to save themselves a timeout. But they got to hustle here. There's no time to huddle. They're huddling, and now the change are set. Here comes the clock.
And that was Jet Jones actually on the carry. And really, boy, not pressed to try to get this one. I'm a little surprised.
No, I don't get it. And it looks like they broke the huddle with 12, by the way.
So taking the snap, McLaughlin option. Pitches here to his running back, Voyachek. He's going to be dropped by Page, and that will do it for the first half of play. So Panthers will take it in to the halftime with a 10-0 lead. And really, before I cut it all the way to halftime, let's go ahead and run through our sponsors that make this broadcast possible. Let's see if our producer, Andy Hessen, knows how to run it. Yeah, right there. Boom. Harrington Pepsi-Cola Beverage Distributors proudly supports Belgrade High School. And I'm going to read my new Reach Higher Montana read. Reach Higher Montana helps Montana students achieve personal success in education, career, and life. Schedule an appointment with Catherine Foster for scholarship and financial aid assistance. And Ty Elliott State Farm Insurance. Give Ty Elliott a call at 388-3178. And Town & Country Foods, with locations in Belgrade and Bozeman serving southwest Montana. Town & Country Food proudly supports Panther Athletics. And Taco Time, now for 34 years in support of Belgrade High School, thanks to Bill over at Taco Time.
Yeah, we got some great sponsors, and we appreciate everybody.
Of course, then Yellowstone Vacations for snowmobile and snow coach trips into Yellowstone National Park. Visit YellowstoneVacations.com.
Yeah, they do a nice job for us. They got great product, great people, and we appreciate all their help and support.
All right, I'm going to try to make this. Field cam thing happen. So
so we'll take a time out, and we'll be back in a couple minutes for.
I'll put my microphone out here so you can hear these. Sure. I'm going to put my microphone out so you can hear the cheer squad here going. We'll be back with some halftime info in a little bit. You want to talk to Bert?
I'll let her know. We'll set things up for you.
I've never seen you. Have you? I've seen you talking.
So they can watch Panther live on YouTube. Once again, Panther live on YouTube. The game is streaming. So to visit the concession stand, and right next to the concession stand is the Panther Pro Shop. Get your shirts, sweaters, Panther gear. Show your spirit.
Action. I didn't get your last radio call. It was broken up. Someone else.
Okay, Big Baron. Why don't you?
Fundamentally, the Panthers look really good. Sidney, you know, they've been a few spots away from maybe breaking a big play, getting a first down that could sustain a drive. Panthers also could have had a few instances where they could have sustained drives, put another score or two on the board, I think. And, you know, it's been a pretty clean game for both teams for first game of the season. You know, there are a few offsides, but nothing too bad.
Yeah, you generally come to these games, you're trying to simulate game speed and two-a-days and stuff, and you just in-game conditioning, right? And you just really don't get that feel till you come out here. And like you said, that it's pretty impressive by both teams. Pretty clean overall.
Yeah.
Belgrade did a nice job, I thought, of trying to flip field position, which helped them get their early score, the 3 points. And then, they come back and marched the ball down the field and sustained a drive and punched it in.
Yeah.
We didn't see that in the Spirit Night scrimmage. They couldn't quite punch in for scores. They had to settle for field goals. So it's good to see that they finished that last drive.
Yeah, that was huge. It was nice to see Dyson Chaney moving the ball, developing some confidence in those tosses. You had one down the corner that could have ended that drive, but fortunately the Panthers came out on the right end of that drop and were able to punch it in.
Yeah, it could have been a pick six, right?
Yeah.
And those are, I was talking to Parr and Hessen during the game. You know, on the defensive side of the ball, as a D coordinator, you always, and you watch film, and you always find situations where you're always going to be basically in some type of one-on-one where your defensive guy's got to make a play, and that was a big opportunity for Sidney, and he couldn't quite make the play there, and that could have changed momentum going from Sidney up 7-3, but Belgrade up 10-0. So when you get those situations, you got to take advantage of them. But it happens at every level. But Belgrade nonetheless comes away. And what's the mindset as a player, and you've been there, where team scores, and now you got to kick off to them, or you're Belgrade and you just scored and you get the ball back after half.
As Sidney, it doesn't feel great, but it's still 10-0. That's a two-score game. That's nothing. We've all seen things swing really quick, and so that's nothing. It's kind of on the coaches there to keep them positive, keep them believing, because they have been able to move the ball. They do look good. It's just Belgrade's been able to stop the first downs from continuing, but they are chunking yards here and there. I'd love to know the stats, but it's probably fairly close, minus that one drive where Belgrade was able to go the distance. And Belgrade, you don't want to come out too high. You want to come out, continue to be sound, and continue to just do what you've been doing, execute, and just ride that out. And I don't mean be content, but just
right.
Continue to do what you do.
Well, sometimes you come out too emotional, and then you miss assignments, or you make a false start or make a penalty, right, to change that momentum, and get the other team back in the game. And you got to use that momentum and emotion, and you got to still play sound football.
Yeah.
Like you talked about, mistake-free, as they pretty much did in the first half. Sidney's position, when you got momentum against you, you're down 10-0. I call it transitional defense, and if you can get guys to play well in what I call transitional defense, where you don't have the momentum, you're down. If you can be strong mentally, you're going to be a good ball club and not break. So we'll see what happens here coming out. Belgrade will receive the football. We'll see which team comes and tries to take the momentum and which team responds.
Yeah. If I were Belgrade, I'd be looking for an onside kick here. You just never know when somebody's going to pull that. Now would be an opportune time. I, as a coach, was never big on that, but there's some out there that do, and it pays dividends sometimes.
Sure.
Just be ready for anything. Get that ball in your hands and start chunking it.
I think both coaches have called the game pretty conservatively, and when they needed to go for it on fourth down, they did in the right situations. So, like you said, it's only 10-0, and you can be in the game, and we'll see if Sidney's offense is a type of offense that can come back. We saw some nice runs off the outside on their speed option, right, where they got some bigger plays. So we'll see if they try to attack what they try to adjust at halftime and see what they try to attack at Belgrade in the second half. But they definitely need to make some defensive adjustments. I thought Sidney was pretty strong defensively between the tackles. I think both teams are a little bit stronger off the edge and in the short passing game, and both teams haven't had much success running straight up the middle there.
No, there were a few times early on where Major was able to chunk it up, with that zone, with the new zone blocking, but just hasn't materialized too much, straight up the middle or tackle to tackle. And there's still a place for it. You can chunk 2 or 3 yards here, but you got to.
Yeah, and you got to. Yeah, and you got to keep chunking at it too, because it's part of your base offense, and you got to set other things up off of it. And but we know Ethan Major's dangerous. If he hits finds a seam, he can go the distance.
Yeah, and same with Easton Page on those little short passes. He had a little bubble pass right here, and it was just perfect. I mean, he caught it, turned, and went upfield and just spun right off the defender. And he's got some bursts, and he can make some things happen.
And I think that's what Coach Lewis is trying to do out of their offense this year, is get their playmakers in open space. And like you said, with some of those short passes with Easton Page, and trying to get Ethan in some running lanes where he can use his acceleration. And like you said, Dyson's made some nice plays out of the pocket when he's felt pressure, and he hasn't panicked. Even when he's been pressured, he might have got sacked or whatnot, or couldn't quite make a play, but he's maintained a good sense of calmness, and overall I thought he's made some good decisions out there.
Yeah. Well, here we go.
So we got 10 seconds to the half. Thanks for being on the set with us, Mr. Horsley. He will go back to operating the clock. Mr. Parr will be back up here shortly. As we said, they are now trying to do camera 2 down on the field to get you a field look. So Mr. Parr, he's always exciting and always wanting to push the envelope and get the next step. He's done a great job with Panther Live and the broadcasting and the production side of this, and he's out there working out his guts out. So welcome back to the second half here on Panther Live. The Belgrade Panthers up 10-0 over the Sidney Eagles. Sidney is all set to get the second half under the way and to kick off. Back deep for Belgrade is number 1 Easton Page, and I believe Riley Berman. Short kick to Bagby. Bagby snags it on the 20, comes across the field. Sidney hits him and wraps him up just past the 35-yard line. Not a bad return, so Belgrade will get decent field position. Sidney tries to keep the kick away from the playmakers, Easton Page and Riley Berman in the back, and elect to go to the corner, short corner for a kick, and Bagby actually snags it, and he's got some athleticism too and brings it up to the 36-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 to go here on the 35-yard line. So we are race lace out of pistol here. Ethan Major in the backfield. Cheney takes a handoff, gives it to Ethan Major up the middle, inside zone, and that's what we talked about. He could go all the way, and Ethan Major scores a touchdown on the first handoff off inside zone. And Sidney can't catch him, and he does a great job of reading his zone play. Right up the middle, Belgrade blocks it well. Great job by Ethan Major there. And Belgrade takes care of Sidney up front, and first play sends Sidney now down potentially 17-0 here with 11:30 to go. So Ethan Major, great job, shows his athleticism, his speed, and his work that he's put in over the summer. And he takes that about 70 yards for the touchdown. Belgrade goes up 17-0 right out of the gate. We talked about the momentum transition, getting scored on before half and having to kick off. And Belgrade makes Sidney pay. And Belgrade using the momentum emotionally. And they've looked good out of the gate here. One play and in. Belgrade making a couple adjustments up front at halftime to maybe seam that zone blocking scheme up, and they hit Sidney for a 70-yarder. So we'll see how the Sidney Eagles respond here, down 17-0. Sidney comes in. They are the defending conference champs from last year, winning the East. So John Mears will set to kick it off here for Belgrade. Huge play there for Belgrade, huge play.
I missed it.
Did you get a good?
Yeah.
You got a good one?
I hope so.
It's gonna be.
I'll go back and watch the replay. It'll be great.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Hey, we're going to get, you see Barron down there working on the field cam? We're going to have a field cam soon.
Well, he's trying his guts out. Hopefully he doesn't trip any players down there.
He's got 250 foot of...
Well, you could rope a lot of people with that.
Well, we avoided the cheerleaders first. We got a cord going right through their routine, so we asked them not to trip on it. I think they're going to be okay. I'm more worried about the team.
And Belgrade now just using the momentum right now, Nate, and they are just all over Sidney right now. First play, 70-yard scamper, and they do a great job of, on the kick return here, of stalling Sidney. They'll start about the 30-yard line, so they just get a return of just about 10 yards on that play. Christian Dean with the return there.
All right, so first down 10 here. McLaughlin under center. He's going to pitch it on the option. There's not much room.
Outstanding job by Riley Berman, because he comes off the edge, which now creates contain, and he basically just played two guys there, forces the quarterback to pitch, and then he makes the tackle. And to feather like that is very tough to do in high school. College players, they try there because, they got a lot of athleticism, and that's what Riley Berman showed right there, his athleticism. He feathered both the quarterback and the option player, forces the quarterback to pitch, and then he goes and tackles the running back.
So 2nd and 15. McLaughlin takes the snap, fakes the give, looks downfield. He's got a man. He's going to throw
over
it.
the top. Had him.
He did. Incomplete. Looking there for Jared Voyachek.
So Voyachek was looking more on his eyes on the inside seam, and Cooper McLaughlin kind of threw it to his outside shoulder, so he had to readjust, but it was there.
So 3rd and 10.
Sidney
3rd and 15, I should say.
Yeah, Sidney might have to hustle here. Watch the back judge, see if he starts counting.
McLaughlin, hard count, takes the snap, drops it on the ground, picks it up, rushed, has time, rolls to his right, throws, incomplete, no one there.
He's got to zoom out there a little bit, eh?
We're gonna get there.
Our track looks nice.
Looks like Principal Lamb has a message for Barron before he begins this field cam. Hang on 1 second here.
He's looking for your thumbs up.
Yep, he's got it. Good to go. 4th and 15, Sidney will punt. Let's get right on that field cam here on this punt. Here it is. Field level. Punt is nearly blocked. Dribbles on the ground here. Page with it in room.
Oh, boy.
Left side's open. Good blocks. Easton Page.
Showing
he
his
is
speed.
Gone. Touchdown, Belgrade. How about that one? So Belgrade here burst through this third quarter with 2 quick touchdowns, and John Mears is going to try to make it 24-0.
Yeah, so Belgrade comes out swinging for the fences, and their playmakers are starting to show why they're playmakers. And Ethan Major with the 70-yard run, and now Easton Page with about a 70-yard run himself off the punt from Sidney. That might have buried Sidney right there, because we've seen that they're not a big-time down-the-field striking type team. You know, they're in a methodical offense, run game, mixed in with some play action and short passing game. And Sidney might be in trouble here, but we'll see how they respond. Obviously, plenty of time to go. And now they put Sidney in a position where they're going to have to go for maybe some bigger plays. But with plenty of time, they might roll with their offense for a little bit and see if they can't chunk a drive out and get at least on the scoreboard and then go from there. But they got to get on the scoreboard this quarter.
So Toby Robinson here huddled up with the punt or the kickoff team, excuse me. Panthers on top, 24-0. Not even 2 minutes into this third quarter. And we're going to see here, Barron's going to get us a great view of this kick. We'll line up with him. We'll know if anyone was offsides. Is here Mears calls the huddle.
Now maybe he'll move up to the 40-yard line. We'll have to help train him a little bit. But nonetheless, it looks good down there.
Yeah. So there's the kick.
Huge kick by John Mears going to the corner, and this will be a touchback.
Yeah, it's going to go in the end zone.
He smoked that thing. Right now, Belgrade's got the momentum, and they're getting after these guys.
Whoopsie daisy.
No. Okay. 1st and 10 here. McLaughlin leads out the offense. He'll start out in shotgun.
Looks like Belgrade's going to come after him. They're in man coverage there. And we got a flag by the top judge. Got a false start on Sidney.
Yeah,
receiver up top must have not have been set.
Yeah, when Waters went in motion, that was when the side judge immediately was alerted and threw that flag. First and 15. McLaughlin again sends Waters in motion.
Belgrade's still in man coverage there.
Screen up tops. Defended well there. In on that play again is Riley Berman.
Yeah, Riley doing a nice job tonight defensively. He's been all over the field. They used him in a lot of ways. And there he defends the bubble screen well. He's a tough kid to block.
2nd down and long. Snap, take, and give is up the middle to Waters. He's got a couple. He'll get it up to about 3rd and 9 after a pickup of 3 or 4.
Coach Hunter elects to continue to bring pressure here. We'll see what he does on 3rd down. If he stays more into a base look, or looks like he's going to probably bring some pressure here. Still in man coverage.
Sends his man in motion. It's going to be option here. He's going to pitch it to Waters. A little bit of room and knocked down. I take that back. That was Jet Jones on the pitch. 4th down. And once again, Easton Page back to return this punt. Got to imagine they're not going to let it get near him.
So we'll see what happens here. See if Sidney tries to keep the ball away from Page. Kind of a high snap.
Boy, let's
Ooh, tough punt. Easton's not going to be able to touch that thing. Gets to about
dead.
the 50-yard line.
Yeah, just as it crosses midfield. So Belgrade will take over on offense from there. Good field positioning once again for the Panthers, who have a 24-0 lead. Dyson Chaney will lead the offense once again. He'll start out with Major behind him, 2 receivers to his left, 1 down here to his right. Takes a snap, give is up the middle to Major. He's got a couple of yards.
Now he's getting up in there between the tackles and getting his tough yards. And the last one he was able to scamper. He still gets about 4 yards there. And eventually it sets up a nice cutback. If you start to cut back too early in your zone game, just to cut back, and you still got to read your zone play. And Ethan's settling in down that inside zone a little bit more. He's got a nice letter from Coach Bobby Houck from the Missoula Grizzlies, and they're excited to be following him and recruiting him a little bit.
Pitch to Major, right side, he's got some room, follows a block, bursts through near the 32-yard line. Big pickup there for Ethan Major.
Yeah, speed option, nice offset to the inside zone there, and Coach Lewis doing a good job of keeping Sidney on their heels in many aspects. We've seen inside game, outside game, we've seen rollout, and we've seen even, dose of Belgrade's hurry-up offense, and they were all pretty solid in all stages. So he's done a good job of preparing these guys and getting them ready for their first game.
And we'll have whistles here before. I think Eric Kinnaman is going to take a timeout. So timeout here, Belgrade. I want to talk about this 1st and 10 from the 33 with 7:07 to go in the third. See if Barron can get right in there in this huddle.
Come on, Barron. There he is.
Can we read Coach Lewis's lips here? Boy, Coach Lewis looks a little disheveled right now. He should be happy we're up 24-0. He is intense.
Well,
isn't he?
As a coach, though, you're always thinking on the next step, and you got the old Nick Saban mentality where you really don't crack a smile ever until maybe you hoist a trophy up. And even though Belgrade's up 24-0, I think good coaches still want high expectation on their execution. It's not a time now to just relax and have fun in a mess around, screw around way, but the fun is when you can continue the process and put your energy into the process and continue to execute with flawlessness.
And before this snap, it looks like we'll have another whistle. I think we're just getting the play clock set up, right?
Here we go.
Cheney takes the snap. He's going to throw over the middle. And it's nearly picked off and then nearly caught. But there on the defense was Aaron Entz.
Yeah, we had two crossers coming in the middle of the field, and I don't know what their aiming points was. We got a flag, you said, so we got illegal man down. Oh. On Sidney. There you go. Illegal man downfield on Belgrade.
Okay, he just pointed the wrong way.
Yeah. I didn't think defense could have an illegal man downfield. But just a mistake by the head ref. Longtime veteran head ref there, though. Oh, now he points at Sidney again.
Well, anyways, it'll be about first and
It's still
15.
a 5-yard penalty on Belgrade for being illegal man downfield. So, again, like you said, Dyson just missed a little bit late on the timing of those field throws downfield, and he'll get better at them the more practice he gets at them, I think. And I think that's going to have to be a big part of Belgrade's package.
Cheney looks to throw. He's pressured, and he just misses Turnquist Lynn. It might be a good thing that Gabe didn't catch that because he would have been dropped for a loss. Little talking after the play there between Lynn and Kostalecki.
So Sidney bringing a little bit of pressure, and I think that's what they got to continue to do is bring pressure and try to make Dyson Cheney, even though he's a junior, he's new as a starter here. He got some reps last year as a sophomore, but try to put him in positions to make some decisions to maybe where Sidney can get some turnovers.
Cheney takes the snap. Give is to Major, met in the backfield and dropped.
So Sidney doing a nice job here defensively. After they gave up that, two big plays. A punt return and a 70-yard inside zone play to Ethan Major.
That was Waters on that stop.
So it's kind of a reverse from last year. Belgrade couldn't get on the scoreboard last year against Sidney, and Sidney slowly pulled away. And now Belgrade's put Sidney in the exact same position as our game last year at the beginning of the year. So back to an empty set here, as Coach Lewis did right before the half, Nate.
3rd and 15. Cheney looks, pressured and dropped.
And that's
sack.
That's my thought process out of empty. You got to come after the quarterback. You got to get guys up on the line, and it's basically, you're 6 on 6, and. No pizza?
What?
My son just informed me there's no pizza left.
I'm surprised he returned the change still.
Yeah.
All right, so we're out of pizza at the concession stand.
But nonetheless, when you see that empty, I think you gotta come after him, and especially like we said, they gotta force Dyson to try to make a decision to throw and get that ball off quick, force turnovers, and now they put him in a punt situation. So good job by Sidney.
Bagby will punt. Try to down another one inside the 10. He rolls to his right, sends the rugby punt. It's a beautiful punt that goes out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. There's flags then. I think there was
laundry all over the field here.
I think there was a hit there out of frustration maybe from one of the Sidney players. Let's see what the call is. I think this is going to be a half the distance.
Where's
to the
the
goal.
head ref here? Head ref.
He's still back at the line of scrimmage. Or
I don't think he knows if there's. Oh, he's lining up where the ball should be on the punt. He's angling with the side official.
Gotcha.
Now he comes in after the ball is now spotted.
That's some geometry on the field. I would have just said, it's about at the 14. Let's go ahead and mark it right here. And he's going to mark it at the 15. Now we're going to go. Let me get this. Here we go. Here they're talking. You see that we have a call against Sidney. It's going to be half the distance to the goal. So Sidney is going to have the ball in about the 7 or 8.
Plane coming in right now. That is actually a private jet.
Ooh.
That is not a commercial
that
jet.
That's Yellowstone Club.
Yeah, they're head of the Yellowstone Club, and we have plenty of those flying in. We have a whole gaggle of those guys up there. I was up at the Yellowstone Club the other day, and there is it's a nice place.
Give up the middle and drop near the line of scrimmage is number 12, Jet Jones. So 2nd and 10. Clock now under 5 minutes to go in the third.
No. It's their clubhouse.
Well, offensive false start against Sidney. It's going to back them up even more.
Yeah, when you're that deep in your own territory and you're down, like you said, you talked about that frustration penalty there by Sidney, brings them back 15 yards or whatnot to the goal line, and now you get a false start. So sometimes this happens and the wheels kind of fall off, and plenty of game to go here in the quarter, and we still have the fourth quarter and 4 minutes here to go. So we'll see if Sidney can try to respond and get on the board. They haven't been able to get on the board yet.
Looking to throw here and pressured.
He's
McLaughlin.
open.
He's going to keep it himself.
He just couldn't get it down the field.
Nope.
They had the backside arrow route by number 11, Christian Dean, was open on the backside, but he just couldn't see it. And it's tough to throw that deep on the rollout on the go downfield. You almost have to throw off your back foot. Yeah, that wind's picking up, and we used to have mountains, but you can't even see the mountains. The smoke's so heavy here, and now get a whiff of that smoke blowing in here through the window.
Right, the wind actually I think it shifted.
Yep. Now it's coming at us a little bit. So 3rd and long for Sidney.
McLaughlin's going to throw, and he's sacked.
By guess who? Riley Berman.
Boy, I knew we'd see a lot of Berman on the team this year. I really was expecting more of it on offense. He has had a great game from the defensive side of the ball. There's going to get a close-up of Riley having a great game tonight. It's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, and he's basically out of their scheme. They play with 3 safeties. It looks like a 44, but it's a 4-2-5. So they play with 3 safeties. They have a strong safety, a free safety, and a weak safety. And so their safeties kind of come up in the box off their calls to play like linebacker positions, and that's what his position is. And yeah, he's done a great job tonight, and they've used his athleticism pretty well. But you also spoke on the offensive side. He can get loose on the offensive side as well, and because I think teams will start to see what Easton Page can do, and they might start to adjust how they defend him, and that's when a kid like Riley Berman can also shine offensively.
So good field positioning here for the Panthers. 3 to play in the 3rd quarter. 24-0 lead. It's been all Belgrade tonight. As Cheney will throw, and he has time this time as he delivers over the middle. Looking for Page, just kind of overthrows him there as Page kind of changes his route to try to go catch up to it, but a little too much.
Yeah, Easton's still kind of on that dig route, that over route, and still hasn't quite gotten the timing of where to lead, kind of threw it too far upfield. Easton was open. I thought he had some separation, and I think Dyson thought he would turn that dig route more vertical.
Went also well protected there as Cheney had plenty of time on that throw. Just unable to connect. 2nd down 10. Cheney. Outside a big hit. That
Huge.
was number 30, Riley Kostelecki.
Boy, and Ethan Major is down. Teammates help him up, and I don't know if he looks like he's okay.
Right.
Boy, he took a shot there. Kostelecki comes off the outside edge, kind of pulls a Riley Berman himself.
Sure.
And lays the wood to Ethan Major.
Kostelecki, a 5'10", 175-pound senior. He's been getting some ball carries on offense, but had a big hit there on defense. Now 3rd and very long. We'll call it 3rd and 17 for Belgrade. Give up the middle. Major dances around, picks up a couple of yards.
Yeah,
gets room for the punt.
Yeah, good patience there by Ethan. Got up inside and then did his zone cut to the outside. I thought that was a much better read on his half, and he kind of gets some yardage back there. But it's still 4th down, and Belgrade looks like they're going to punt.
Bagby now the pooch punt specialist. Try to go 3 for 3 tonight. Snap is low, picks it up, just gets it off.
Wow, little one hopper there. Oh, and almost. Can't quite handle it, but absolute great play is that Brody Blossom there.
It was.
So Brody Blossom does his job as the gunner to get down there and gets to the ball, realizes where the ball is, turns himself inside so the ball doesn't go over the end zone, but just takes too big of a bounce for what he could handle. But great job, great try there. Had the opportunity.
So that'll bring it out to the 20-yard line with 1:12 to go in the 3rd quarter. Sidney once again trying to get something going. Looking to pass here. McLaughlin rolls to his right, throws.
Dangerous. Oh, and he gets it. Somehow it gets into the hands of his running back. Number 12 there, Jed Jones.
Boy, that hit about 3 players before it made it to Jones. And he was able to catch it and also get some yards after the catch.
That's a huge play by Sidney. They got to get some momentum here, and they're going to have to extend drives with 4 downs, a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter, but they got to get on the board. Looking to pass now. McLaughlin over the top.
Ooh. Well defended there by the Panthers.
Yeah, 3 Panthers there, and Whipple reads it again, just got a little behind, but Sidney not quite fast enough to extend. Kostelecki not quite fast enough to extend away his separation.
Second down 10. McLaughlin, option, pitches.
Speed option again in Belgrade. They keep running that speed option to Riley Berman's side, and they might have to maybe go to the weak side. Riley's done an outstanding job defending that speed option play.
That was Blade Vega who made the tackle.
Yeah, and Blade Vega, he's braced up on his left knee. He had an ACL injury last year, and might have injured it a little bit again this year already. So we'll see how he holds out through the season.
McLaughlin looks to throw plenty of time. Deep ball. He's got a man.
And he's open! And he caught it! So Ethan Major just couldn't quite make the play. Number 11, is that Dean?
Yeah, Christian Dean there with the big reception.
That's huge for Sidney. 2 big plays, that play on the boot where it hit about 3 guys and somehow made its way into the hands of his running back. And now they go downfield again with a one-on-one, and that's what you got to take advantage of. When you get one-on-ones, you got to take advantage of them, Nate, and Sidney finally did there, and they made the play.
So with the fourth quarter starting here, let's make sure we get our ads in time so we don't miss a play, and remind you that this game is brought to you by Harrington Bottling Company, Pepsi Cola here in Montana. Thank you for your support of Belgrade's Panther Live, as well as Reach Higher Montana. Helps Montana students achieve personal success in education, career, and life, as well as State Farm Insurance. Call Ty Elliott here at State Farm in Belgrade. And Town & Country Foods. Town & Country Foods supports Panther Athletics with stores in Belgrade and Bozeman, serving southwest Montana. Well as Taco Time. 2 locations here, one at Four Corners. Thanks, Bill, proudly supporting the Panthers for 34 years now. And, of course, Yellowstone Vacations for snowmobile and snow coach trips into Yellowstone National Park. Visit YellowstoneVacations.com. All right, a little bit better. I didn't miss the first play of the fourth quarter. Still a little choppy on the reads, but we're just getting started. I feel like we're going to have that dialed in here pretty soon.
Got a long year.
We got
a long year. We got a lot of sports going on, and
we do. We've got 20.
You okay?
Whoops. All right, we got kids falling over the press box here, but we've got 20 games scheduled on our Panther Live broadcast this fall. We'll have 7 football games, 7 volleyball games, and 6 soccer games. Soccer kicks off tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Yeah,
we are now
full
on
schedule.
Is the taken there by number 12, Jet Jones. Riley Berman on the stop. Second down, 9 to go. Ball on the 17-yard line. McLaughlin under center, I formation. Fullback goes too soon. Boy, some early season mistakes we're seeing has really set Sidney back right now. Because if they want to get back into this game here in the fourth quarter, I suppose you look at it for them, you're looking at this as a 3-score game. It's going to take quite a bit of an effort, though, to get back in this one. Still 11 minutes to go. But that 5-yard setback not going to help, as McLaughlin will be back under center here. Give is up the middle. That's Voyacek.
Yeah, so Sidney just keeps grinding. They go I formation with that isolation play. And, if they can get on the board a couple times here, it might milk the clock down, but get it back into a reasonable opportunity. You never know what will happen. So we got 3rd down now. 2-down territory, though, for Sidney. Looks like, I don't know if there was a hold there or a face mask. I'm not sure what they got. I was an off-the-edge play there. Yep, so it looks like a hold because the referee threw it back even more. So head ref talking to Coach Kinnaman what he'd like to do. Oh, he called personal foul. Illegal contact, helmet to helmet. Is that what they called?
Against who, though?
Looks like on Sidney. Wow.
Problems going on here. And ball.
Let's see if Barron can sort it out. Boy, Barron's kind of on the far end here.
Might have to give him a stand. He's got the shakes.
Yeah, I know. I got it's tough. It's tough. He's holding that camera and those long distance shots. Boy, every little movement. So yeah, we'll get him. Again, this is the first time we've ever had the field
at least
cam.
he's down on the field.
Yeah, we're gonna work on it though.
47-yard penalty.
Yeah, back him up here. What are we gonna call this now? Third and
That's a
10.
I think it must be a
25?
spot foul where it happened.
24.
So
Yeah.
it's a 15-yard penalty from where the foul occurred. I don't believe it was from the line of scrimmage, is it?
Third and 24 from the Panther 32-yard line. McLaughlin takes the snap. He looks to throw a broken play.
Flags fly everywhere again.
That one bounced.
No,
I
short
believe.
hopper. Referees don't know it. They can't. Yeah, passing complete there. Looked like it hopped up into his arms, but we got more laundry on the field here. We'll see what the referees come up with.
Boy, another penalty against Sidney. Boy, you think does Belgrade decline it? Just make it fourth down? You want to take fourth?
Yeah, it's declined. Yep. So Kinnaman does exactly what you say. They decline it fourth down.
4th and 24.
And they got to go for it. I mean, you're down 24 points with 10 to go, and got to try to find some hope here. And they had a little bit of hope, but those last couple penalties just has crushed Sidney's drive here. Belgrade looks like they're going to send everybody.
McLaughlin looking to throw. Pressured.
Wow.
Caught by Voyacek.
And Voyacek's going to almost score down to the 4-yard line.
Got the first down.
Wow.
Yeah, I hear the Panther assistant coach is not too happy with that play there, but Voyacek picks up the first down.
Yeah, Coach Hunter all worked up, but Talon Taylor seems a little calm eating his Subway sandwich. Sure wish we had a Subway sandwich over here.
Concessions out of pizza, so Talon Taylor over to Subway.
That's a huge play there. Gets the pass off to the running back. Inside handoff to number 12 for
Jet.
Sidney. That's Jet.
Yep. Stuffed, though. Riley Wirtz in on the stop for the Panthers. 2nd and goal now. Sidney knocking on the door, their best opportunity of the night. Snap taken, rolling to his right. McLaughlin throws.
There he is, wide open, and he can't hold it in.
Voyacek just can't bring that in, but boy, was he wide open.
You can't get any more wide open than that.
You know, it's just outside of his fingertips, though. Tough play for that kid, though.
That's huge.
2nd and goal.
Yeah, that's huge. A lot of times you don't get those back. You just don't get those same opportunities back.
3rd and goal from the 5.
Probably look at a slant coming in from number 1, even though we got inside shade. Number 2, Brody cannot let that guy get inside shade. He goes fade, backside give.
Stuffed.
That's huge play.
Knutson on the stop.
Nice job. Let's go. I'm off completely.
So 4th down here. So Sidney going to have to go for it again. Last time they were 4th and half the football field and darn near scored. And then They should have had the touchdown 2 plays ago. Wojciech just couldn't quite reel it in. Sometimes when you're that wide open, it's too easy.
So 4th down, McLaughlin in the gun. Takes a snap, rolls to his right. Looking for a receiver. He's open.
Yeah, that's
Flag
going
on
to be
the play.
that's going to be pass interference.
Yep.
So
And,
Belgrade's probably going to get a first down out of that play. It's a good call by the referee. We had holding off the line of scrimmage.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were going to call a holding on Easton Page.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I thought you said first down Belgrade. We're saying first down.
Oh, sorry, first down Sidney.
First
Yeah,
down Sidney.
probably going to be first down Sidney, yeah. Thanks for the correction.
So another opportunity here for Sidney now, though, down under 8 minutes to play.
So it's a hold call by the defense, not a pass interference hold. And I'm not sure if that's an automatic first down or not. We got to go all for they were up by the hash, so the referee's got to walk that all the way over.
Put it on the 1 inch.
That's
Should
going to
be about the 3 or 4 yard line, yeah. So still 4th down. So now we'll see what happens. We got number 1 deep.
Give up the middle.
And Wojciech!
He redeems himself and gets in, I think, boys. Looks close.
They're looking for the bottom side judge, and there's no call yet. There is no call yet.
He dropped the football, too.
There is no call yet.
Still talking it over, and it's a
touchdown. It looked like he got across.
I thought it was the right call.
Yeah.
Boy, I wish they would have got to it a little sooner.
Yeah, the bottom judge was so far away, and it took a while. At least they came in and talked about it. But so Sidney gets on the board here. Big play by Sidney. 7:47 here to go.
And they got to go for 2. And really, if you look at it in terms of the game, this 2-point conversion is much more important at this point now. Is this makes it a 2-possession game? Not getting there, they're going to go for. They're going to kick it. Excuse me. So they're going to elect to kick. I suppose if you got a field goal kicker and you can get a 3 touchdowns, come back with a field goal to tie it up. They get it. So 7-24 now. Panthers on top. So Eagles get on the board, and as a couple of breaks, really both sides were plagued by injuries on that drive, but it was Wojciech who was able to cap it off with the touchdown run, and nice redeeming himself as well. As Barron now gets a shot of this home crowd. Nice crowd on hand here. School has not yet started for these young men and women as we are starting school next week. Coach, you ready to go with some strength and conditioning in school or what?
It's still
Are
summer.
you ready to go? You're
it's Friday night.
You're
It's
like,
still
hey, I'm
summer.
at Yellowstone Club. Show up for the broadcast 5 minutes before it starts. Good to go.
That's coming to an end, my friend.
So kicking off for Sidney is going to be, I believe, Boston Peters. Going to be an
comes the
onside
onside.
kick.
Good job.
Nice play. Easy play there.
Well, let's just say if you're going to kick onside, why not make it a 2-score game? 7:46 to go.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's at some point, now going for 2 on your next scores, even if you get a chance, you're still got to get still 3 scores now. You're still 3
Right.
scores. So. The way Belgrade's been moving the ball, they might get another score here.
Yeah, it seems like Belgrade's offense hasn't been on the field in quite a while. as Cheney takes the snap, rolls left. He's running option. He'll keep it himself, and he's taken down after a pickup of 2.
Had a couple of Sidney players down, but one gets up, and now number 58 for Sidney hobbles off the field.
2nd down and 8. Cheney takes the snap.
Oh, snap goes over the head, and Ethan does a good job of just getting on it.
Sure.
Take the loss there. Don't try to make a play that's not there, and covers the ball and keeps possession. Sometimes guys go after that to try to make some sort of play, and you're fumbling around with the ball, and then you get a turnover. So great job there.
Yeah, and also just knowing the situation by covering that up, it's going to run another 30 seconds off the clock, and not risking giving Sidney the ball with good field position.
The clock still is winding down, but third and forever here for Belgrade. And I'm sure he's going to give Dyson an opportunity to throw the ball downfield here, see what happens. Maybe give it to Ethan. Nope, yep, he's going to allow him to throw the ball downfield.
Rolls to his right, looking, throws now back over the middle. It's caught
by Tommy Whipple. So that's a tough throw across the body, but Dyson gets out of the pocket, and I think that's what he's got to do. He settled in there, and then he got out of the pocket with good timing, was able to outrun the defender and drop it where Whipple held up in the zone, and he does a good job of finding him in that hole of the zone there, and gets the fumble yardage back. So 4th and 8.
It looks like, the Panthers here in punt formation as Bagby delivers the punt. This one's going to roll a little bit. Stops right inside the 20-yard line. 5:28 to go now in the game. And Sidney's going to need to go the distance here to match their last drive with just now 5:26 to go. McLaughlin under center. Give is up the middle to Kostalecki, excuse me. He picks up about 5 yards to make it now 2nd and 5. Wirtz on the stop for the Panthers. Second and 5 now, under 5 minutes to go. McLaughlin, he's going to roll, looking for a receiver.
Good breakup, but can he get it there? A little push off there.
Boy, Page then has something to say about that push off, and we'll have a flag for extracurriculars. And I think this one, if not offsetting, could be against Easton.
And with 5 minutes to go, if I can't remember if it's the personal foul or unsportsmanlike, but if you get 2 of them, like a technical foul in basketball, of one of those 2 choices, if you get 2 of them in a game, you're kicked out. So there's plenty of time if those 2, yeah, so it's unsportsmanlike. So they're going to mark what they do with the unsportsmanlike, which is on Page. And Coach Kinnaman elects to take him out, which probably is a good thing. Because with 5 minutes to go, if he gets another unsportsmanlike, he'll be ejected from the game, and he'll have to sit the next game.
Okay, so, yeah, we don't want that.
So it's a good thing that Kinnaman took him out of the game, and he's talking to him. We'll see if he gets put back in the game. We'll look at the situation, I think. If they can go 4 minutes without him, they're probably best, because if those two start John again and he accidentally gets one, then he's sitting for the next game.
Speaking of the next game, next week the Panthers are on the road visiting Park High School in Livingston. Panther Live is going to be there. Andy, I hadn't mentioned that to you yet. Are you ready for a trip across the
to the Windy
there?
City? At least it's early.
Yeah. Tackle there.
You know, going to the Windy City at the end of the season when potentially it could be snow.
Yeah.
I was coaching over there one year, and we had we were one of the top teams in the state. We were number 1 for a while, and we barely beat Livingston over there at number 1. It was an ice bowl, basically. Nobody could run. There was about 1.5 inches of ice on the football field, and we won by a 40-yard field goal. On the last second, nobody
Who kicked
could.
that? Recall that one. Who kicked that one?
That was picked off by Travis Bagby. That would have been Tyler Miller, one of our all-state soccer players. He was a kicker for us and a wide receiver for us. He could kick the ball. He could smash the ball, that's for sure.
Well, Travis Bagby there picks up the interception. So now Belgrade back on offense. But as I was mentioning, this is also somewhat of a Panther Live first. Next week we're on the road against Park Friday, 7 o'clock. There's also a home volleyball game at 4:15 versus Havre. We're going to cover that. So we're doing home volleyball and away football in the same day. So we'll see how that goes. As now Page back in the game, catches the pass, picks up a yard or two before he's tackled on the perimeter. Christian Dean there on the stop, the defender who was kind of getting into it with Page on the last series. Under 3:30 to go now. Cheney takes a snap, runs option, pitches to Major. Major's got blockers, shoots up the middle.
He's going to
First
score.
down, he's to the perimeter now, and he's going to go.
Touchdown! Ethan Major off the speed option.
So just like that, Belgrade will look to add the extra point and retake a 24-point lead.
So Belgrade gets the score back that they relinquished earlier in the quarter. Belgrade a little bit of a slow start, not bad, 10 points in the first half. But they came out swinging in the second half, that's for sure.
Mears' kick is good. Solid night for John Mears. Started things off with a field goal in the first quarter and then has hit 4 extra points since. .3:17 to go. Belgrade on top, 31-7. And really, you look at this game, this is the exact opposite outcome of this one last year played in Sidney. And really, I know it's not over yet, 3 minutes to go, but boy, Belgrade's got to be feeling optimistic after this opener and then going into Park next week. Got to be feeling good.
Oh, absolutely. They keep playing like this, you know, they're gonna have a shot to maybe run the table. But it's first game, you know, and see what happens after everybody gets their first game. Jitters shook out, and it sets them up nicely against Park next week and get a couple games on their belt before they have to hit a long roll, because road to hoe, you got teams like, you know, Laurel, Billings Central. And the thing with our games is this is a conference game, and remember there's 10 teams in the East, and it's all conference play, so every game counts. So this is a huge win for Belgrade if they pull it out, which more than likely they will do here in the next 3 minutes, to go 1-0 in conference play.
As Mears' kick, as you see, is fielded inside the 10. with running room, and then finally dropped across the 25.
Yeah, kick coverage has done really well tonight. John has kicked the ball deep, but the coverage has been great. I've thought the coverage has, have done their assignments real well, stayed in their lanes, have collapsed on the runner, and really their runners have had nowhere to go. And that's huge when you don't have to worry about a team running it back for momentum and putting your defense in a good enough position to get a 3 and out.
Give up the middle. Pickup of a few yards there for Waters. I don't know that Sidney's really going to go hurry up and throw it and try to get this one back. They have a long, long bus ride ahead. And they might be content getting their team cleaned up and headed back.
Yeah, you don't want to make a mistake, get scored on again, or just at this point you want to get the clock ran out and go home and readjust of the mistakes and maybe the demeanor of your team going forward, and just as everybody does after that first game of the unknown, and hopefully Belgrade has the opportunity to build on a good win here.
Here McLaughlin will roll, he'll run as he's forced out, picks up the first down. Looks like he ran out at around the 45-yard line, his own 45-yard line. Stops the clock here as he goes out of bounds with 2:07 to play. McLaughlin gives to Waters, picks up 6 or 7 yards.
Belgrade getting their younger kids in, getting them some good reps, and you got to let them go. Sometimes it's tough as a coach because if they get too much yardage or a score, you get a little upset because you don't want to give anything else up more, but it's a great time to develop kids.
Here's Waters again. He is tripped up after a couple yards. It'll make it 3rd and short with now just 1:30 to go.
But I think Belgrade did a good job in 2 days developing kids and getting kids reps, especially before they got their full depth charts done. They got the teams mixed up real well, so everybody was getting quality time, quality reps throughout practice. It wasn't just the upper ones getting all the reps the whole time, and I think that's going to bode well for them. And even in game situations like this, they're not doing too bad. They're lost a little bit of contain, but great job by breaking up the pass by number 24 there for Belgrade. Is that Alex Cassis? Does a nice job on the breakup. Sophomore there, and the more of these types of reps they get, whether it's 4-minute reps in live games, and they just played a Froshmore game earlier against Hellgate, it helps a ton.
4th down here. McLaughlin option pitches, and it's going to be short of the first down, so young guys get the stop on defense. And so with just 1 minute to go, Belgrade's going to be able to run this clock out and come away with a Week 1 victory.
So I think they're going to probably take a knee here, I would imagine. Maybe they'll run maybe one play. Sidney's not probably going to take a timeout, so. Looks like Max Schumacher will come into the game to take a couple snaps here for Belgrade.
Yeah, Belgrade now with a couple experienced quarterbacks. That could be helpful in the season ahead. knowing that you got more than one player that can come in and be effective and take snaps to the quarterback position. Great pass there by Schumacher to the outside.
So they get the first down, and I know that's Coach Lewis's philosophy. He's going to continue to attack teams and get reps for his younger kids. On the flip side, Sidney might be thinking, I can't believe he's throwing the ball right now. We're just trying to get out of here. And because it's tough to put a quarterback in and some guys in and just kneel the ball. And so Coach Lewis elects to get a throw there and make Sidney play defense for the next 54 seconds. And I would imagine that the same's going to happen now.
Give up the middle. This is, I believe, is that Mears?
Yeah, John Mears. That's, yep.
All-state wrestler John Mears.
Showing his speed and athleticism. He's a good, hard downhill runner. Looks like he kind of hurt his hand there a little bit, but stays in the huddle.
First down, now 35 seconds and counting. Schumacher gives to Mears again. Mears stacked up and brought down, and that might be it. Unless Kinnaman wants to take one more snap.
No, I think they called the game right there. So he did get a few plays for his younger guys in and his backup quarterback, and Belgrade will seal the victory here with a 31-7 win over Sidney. Big win, conference win for the Belgrade Panthers. And we can see their emotion down on the field.
So there we go, Andy, get the week 1 win. Panthers 31-7 over Sidney. I want to let you know our Panther Live schedule coming up tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. We have a soccer doubleheader against Corvallis with girls first at 11, boys at 1. Before that, though, we're taking Jack out to Digger Days. You got to check that out, man. You kids
yeah,
like
we've
that?
been there. We've been there a couple times, and it's a fun thing for the kids. What time does that start?
I think it starts at like 9. You got to be first one there. You got to be like first one there, wait in line, run in there, get the thing, because then it's a madhouse.
It is, and so, it's only grown over the years, and they construction places do a good job of putting that on for the kids.
So as we mentioned, Digger Day. We're not going to live stream Digger Days, but we are going to live stream the soccer game after that. Then we're coming back next week, Friday, 4:15, home volleyball opener. I believe it's against Havre at 4:15 in the event center, and then we will have football at Park. So I will be making a quick and
that's a hustle play there.
That's a hustle play. So we're going to split the gear. We've got 2 cameras. We do a smaller production on the road, so we'll just have the 1 camera production next Friday night at Park. So we'll have 1 camera for volleyball, 1 camera for the football game, and kind of a tight squeeze in between, but we'll get it done. So that's what's coming up next on Panther Live. But we start the season off great with a Panther victory, 31-7 over Sidney. Andy, any final thoughts before we sign out?
Yeah, I thought Belgrade had a nice offseason, and they showed it tonight. They had great 2-a-day practices to get themselves prepared. The mistakes were pretty minimal, and we saw some good things out of a lot of guys. And they controlled the football game, and when the opportunity arose, they made some nice plays and were able to extend the lead. And I think the play of the game was coming out half. There was actually a big momentum swing there. Actually, right before the half, Dyson Cheney almost threw a pick 6 to Sidney.
Right.
He drops it, and Belgrade gets 2 more shots to score, and they punch that in for a 10-0 lead. Belgrade comes out after half, gets the ball, and Ethan Major scampers for a 70-yard inside zone run, and I think that kind of broke the back for
that
Sidney.
was it, because they scored then immediately.
Yeah,
right after that again.
we just couldn't quite recover. So that was the momentum of the game right there, and Sidney just couldn't quite recover.
All right, so for Andy Demjanovic, this is Nate Parsegian signing out on Panther Live. Panthers get the win, go 1-0 early on the season. We'll see you tomorrow for soccer.